Community Heart Media. Your voice, your heart, your opportunity. Welcome to tonight's show.
Well, can you believe it? We're here again on a Wednesday night for Community Heart Radio. You're live. It's a huge show tonight, and we've got a packed audience out there, Kelly. I don't know what's happened out there. It must have been Valentine's Day this week.
Well, yeah, I thought it was pretty timely. Valentine's on Monday. Hopefully everyone has had the chance, small or big, to celebrate love and happiness. And I thought, well, what other perfect opportunity and chance to have the lovely Robyn join us back again. Thank you for coming back on air tonight, Robyn.
Yay, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I love being here.
We can just feel the love in the air. We've still got some love from Monday night. Can you feel the love? I just want to introduce our great host tonight. We've got Kelly, of course, and we've got Julio himself in the main chair there. Julio, are you feeling the love, mate? Are you still feeling the Monday love or what?
I am. I got lots of Monday love. I got a few texts from my favourite friend telling me that I'm loved and cared about, and it was great. So,
oh, nice.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? It's nice to get a bit of love on Valentine's Day. And I tell you what, Robyn, just remind people what sort of business you're in and what's Valentine's Day mean to you?
Well, it's a love business. So Blue Label Life is a dating agency in Melbourne and Sydney, and I put couples together and help them find love. Valentine's Day, every day's Valentine's Day for me at the moment, Mark.
Love it.
Valentine's Day, it's an opportunity for everyone to let someone know they appreciate them and they're in their thoughts all the time and that they're special.
nice.
Okay, well, I think we might call you Dr. Love because you are a love specialist every day of the week. You're matching people and connecting with people. So I think you've got some great insights that we're going to hear tonight. And we've got a lot of people that want to hear. So don't forget, it's Community Heart Radio you're on, 98.9 Northwest FM. And we do want your comments tonight. We need a lot of interaction because this is a topic that affects us all. Relationships, love. We all know what it means. Some of us have got too much love. Some of us haven't got enough love. And some of us are looking for love. What do you reckon, Kelly? Does that sort of sum up who might be listening tonight?
I would say it's a very, very broad spectrum, to be honest. What about you, Mark? So, I think, I would say that's about right.
Okay, now we've got a bit of echo tonight in the studios. I don't know where we are getting that from, Julio, but you're the technical man. You can try and work out if we've got any technical issues going on. The great thing about this is we're actually in 4 locations. So I'm here at the station, 98.9, and others are at their home. So it's a really great way of doing it. We're still doing it sort of COVID-free. Now, if you're listening, don't forget to put your comments in the chat on Comms 989 Heart Facebook page, and we'd love to have it. So we're going to kick off tonight. And what's been your message to couples as, thinking about Valentine's Day? What would be your message you're trying to give out people this week, Robyn?
My message would be to find it in your heart to really show how grateful you are to have someone in your life. And that can be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be your partner. It can be anyone. It can be your neighbour or someone that did something for you years ago, someone that means something to you. It's a really good opportunity to reach out and let people know that they're in your thoughts and that they're loved, which is what Julio got earlier. It's important.
Yes.
I mean, I think it should be done all the time. I don't think it should be done just on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, it's a reminder to do that, but I think we should be doing it all the time.
Yeah, I think at the show, Robyn, the whole thing of being grateful comes out nearly every week. That whole thing, people talk about writing down what they're grateful for every day. So that area, and I think we might have spoken about that last time you were on, this whole gratitude thing. Maybe just remind us again about your thoughts about being grateful and really trying to think about things you could be grateful for every day.
Yes, so when we're grateful every day, and it's finding anything. So it can be the roof over your head, it can be your family, it can be friendships, it can be a work opportunity, It can be just a small interaction with someone. It can be anything. When you find something to be grateful for and you say it out loud and you repeat it, your energy changes and your energy opens up and your heart opens up. And that's when we receive in life. So that's when we receive from people or opportunities, anything. So it's important to come from a place of gratitude every day. And then your day is amazing. And people are amazing.
So do you think, Robyn, that both men and women can receive that and give that? Because I know as a woman,
Absolutely. It's a human being. It's not that is an agenda. Everyone wants love and everyone wants to be appreciated, whether you're a man or a woman.
Really, really, really good point. Really good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so how do you think that we can start to step into that gratitude space to, like you said, open those doors up to receive that love? For many of us in all states of relationships, singleness, everything, to look at what we want to be exploring as well.
Yes. So you can start that just through your day, like the little things you do during the day. It starts obviously with your thoughts. So it's thinking about what you're grateful for, which I just said, and then it's offering it to others. So that can come from a compliment. It can come from opening the door for someone, helping someone carry something. It just gives that gratitude to others, and you share it with other people, like pay it forward, like that maybe you pay it forward, and then you receive more and more, and then it becomes really natural and it continues to happen all day.
Robyn, why don't you remind people about your story? Because you've got quite an interesting story yourself. We've seen in the advertising your wedding. So a lot of things have happened in your life over the last few years. Maybe just run us through your story for those that haven't heard it.
Okay. So I recently got married. I married a beautiful man at 50, and it took me a long time. And I think this also comes down to a question that I'm always hearing. People are asked a lot of single people say, why are you single? And it's a horrible question. I remember getting asked that question all the time, and I'd want to vomit because it's an awful question. But it's good to really think about it and have a story to that. So my story, and I think everyone can relate to this, is I wanted to have a really good partnership. So that was really important for me. And it took me a while to learn this, but I eventually learned that I had to be the best I could be to be able to give that to someone else. So to be able to offer the best of me, I had to work out who I was. I had to work out what I wanted. I had to work out my values and what was really important for me in life, and also to take responsibility for my own emotions and my own experiences in the past, and let it all go. And it comes back to the gratitude. So coming back to having gratitude for all your past experiences, all the things you've learned, all the hurts that you've had, you've got to let them all go and be grateful for them and forgive them and accept them, and then let them go and move on and be grateful that you've now let all that go. So now you're able to have the best connection that you can at that time. And it changes every day.
Robyn, how do you think that we firstly identify that? Because that's a strong, powerful thing to be able to do. So first to recognise that and to acknowledge it, and then, and to know, is that the barrier that's getting in the way of meeting V1, for example?
It could be one of the barriers. And I think it's when we're living with blame, or we think it's other people's problems, or we think it's because there are no men or women out there, or they're all like this, or it's coming from a place of lack. It's a lack mindset, and it's also being a victim inside yourself. And it's about empowering yourself. And I think everyone is different. Everyone has a different timeline with that. And it's just reaching a point where you've just had enough. You just say to yourself, I've had enough. I want something different. I want the best. You start wanting the best and then focusing on that instead of the past or what you don't have or what keeps happening to give you the wrong outcome. It's focusing on how you want it to be.
But Robyn, do you think that it is that thing about there's the one? Is it one, or there's like for someone like yourself, you've just got married, but there's probably another 20, 30 guys out there you could have married. Is that how you see it, or you reckon there's only one guy you could have married?
No, I think there's an abundance of men I could have married. There's an abundance of people for everyone. There is, and you can.
But you can only marry one. You're not talking about. You're not advocating that we get 10 wives or 10 husbands, are you?
No, and I didn't go through all that.
No. But all right, so
it's a decision. I think it's a decision and a choice that you make. You make this is what I want. And when you meet someone who you feel good with and who treats you really well, and there's a connection, you choose to commit to that, and you choose as long as you both have to do it. It has to be equal. I think this is the most important point. It has to be a priority for both of you. So not everyone is going to do that. When you find the person you connect really well with and you both make a decision to make each other a priority, that's the one. So you're
saying, Robyn, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying, right, you got to, whether it be a man, woman, both, you firstly had to identify who you are and your priorities, correct?
Yes.
Then, once you've done that, what happens? I'm curious. So what have you seen with clients coming through, the common scenarios or segments? So you're saying that first step is identifying who you are, your value, your purpose.
Yes. And then let it all go. It's letting it go. So it's going through. So when a client first comes to me, this is what we do. We go through their values, what's important for them, their experiences, what has worked, what hasn't worked, what they've learned through those experiences, what they're attracted to, what's important, their priorities and goals in life. And then we say, okay, now that's done. So now let's focus on how you want to feel. And we let all the details go. We let all that go now, and we focus on the experience, having the experience instead of all the details. Because when we focus on the details, we can close a lot of doors and we tend to make judgments. So once you let go of all the details and expectations and focus on the experience and having a good time and connecting and focusing on being grateful and giving that to others, you have a nice experience, and then it happens naturally. You want it to happen naturally, and you want it to be easy. You want it to be easy and flow. And it can't be like that when you're focusing on the details and expectations.
I think Julio's being quiet because he's taking notes.
I'm taking
very
heaps of
quiet.
notes. Yeah, I'm listening.
I think this is a good point you made. You've got to try and relax, Julio. Just relax. Don't worry about the notes, mate.
Go
Just
with the flow.
let it happen, Don't you reckon, Julio? What do you think?
No, I need the notes. No, I need to write them all down. Just keep them next to me here. So look, I'm up next time I go on a date. So it's easy that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, mate. I think in anything we do in life, Robyn, and whether it's relationships or whatever it is, you can get anxious and you can try and make things happen that aren't going to naturally happen, and you put a lot of pressure on yourself, put a pressure on the other person. We're all feeling pressured. No wonder it doesn't feel great.
You got to let it go. That's right. And all that pressure and that anxiety you're talking about, we put the pressure on ourselves first. We're so hard on ourselves. It's about giving yourself
I think we've got someone here. That has, she's got high standards, I think, Juliana. I don't understand the letting go of expectations. Are these not what makes up your values? Now, let's unpack this letting go stuff, because I think it's a good question by Juliana. What advice have you got for Juliana there?
It's a great question. So it's expectations. When you work out your values, so I think you may be talking about how people treat you. So, and these are your values and these are your boundaries. So we all need boundaries. Everyone has to have a boundary. So it's how people treat you. So your expectation is, I will treat I expect people to treat me the way I would treat them. And if they don't, we move our attention somewhere else. So, and these are your values. What was the question again? It's gone from the screen. Can I see that? I don't see letting go of
I
expectations.
don't understand letting expectations.
Okay, so it's
about the values, yeah.
Yep. So the expectations are different to the values. The expectations are the details. This is what I mean when I talk about details. So, you know, what he looks like, what he does for work, what type of family she comes from. These are the details of the person.
You don't think that matters? None of that.
No.
You reckon none of that matters?
No,
Doesn't matter what they do.
Because when you focus on that, you can't sit in your values. So your values are different to your expectations. Your values, if you can imagine your values as how you feel. So it's like if someone's disrespecting you, you don't feel good. There's a turn in your gut. That's your value, and that's your boundary. Values and boundary are very similar. So it's sitting in those values, which is the feeling. The expectations is what you expect to happen. So expectations are outcome focused. I expect this to happen.
I think, Robyn, this is a big issue, I reckon, this whole thing of letting go and relaxing in it. I want Juliana to come back to us with another comment, but we've got another comment here that we'll see. Some of the details I'd find difficult to let go would be two parties coming together with financial assets. Like, okay, there's a means test here by looks of things.
That's okay.
How much?
So this is really good.
This is great. This is really good. This comes up with me all the time. And I think it's understanding that assets. So what he's talking about is his value. So he values his financial security. That's his value. So he values being secure. And he's put a lot of work into his assets and his security. So he needs to be with a woman who also values that in her life, because then they appreciate it in each other and it's even. Whereas if he's with a woman who doesn't value that, then it becomes a problem because she might put money somewhere else. Or
so here's a scenario for you, Robyn. I'm going to make you laugh here. When you notice a man who values that, I went on a date, 3 dates, stupidly, with a man.
All the same day, or?
No. And
the one person.
Yes.
Is that how you broke your foot?
Let's not go there. And what came to my mind when you're talking about values and expectations and financial assets?
Yes.
So obviously I could identify straight away this man's value was about financial assets. As Volker, and hi Volker, lovely to hear from you again, miss working with you, mate, was how important that was to him. So important that the first date met, shared the dinner, happy to do that. Second date, went for a walk along the beach and the cafe, and he says, now your turn to pay, wouldn't it be, Kelly? And the cashier turn around.
Oh, no.
Then, see, and this is where I'm saying, and see straight away. And then the third time he mentioned about his house and everything. So obviously, and he was actually a financial planner. Now, financial isn't important to me, to like yourself, Robyn. You know, we're strong, empowered women, but we want to be generous and kind.
That's right.
So my question to you, and I know that many, many people have this, like you said, with that joint, how do you break down those barriers? It may not be financial, but, you know, like that, how to have, and I think that's what Juliana's meaning, is it too high expectation for a man now to pay? Is it about...
No way.
No
way. So this is great.
What about women's lib? Like, why don't they pay everything?
This is about romance. This is about courting. We're not on a job interview. You're not finding a friend. You're not finding a business partner. This is romance, right? And romance is courting between a man and a woman. And the man is masculine and he takes care of the woman. The woman is feminine and she appreciates the man. You can get that into your head with everyone.
Hang on, can you
Then
just go a bit
it's
slower
the
there?
dance.
Can you repeat that, Robyn? Just go a bit slower.
That's right.
Julio,
I'll do-
you might want to write these
Also,
down.
yeah.
Just get these 2 points down because these are seem like central points, Julio. What's the first point about a man and a woman? Just tell us again, Robyn.
The first point.
About our roles. You should talk about our roles.
Oh, the man is the masculine, so he takes care of her. He takes care of the family. He takes care of his woman. He's the one that takes care of stuff. He's the action man.
Okay.
So
What's the female's
masculine
role? What's the female role?
The female's role is to receive. She's the feminine energy, so she's the emotion, and she receives and appreciates him.
Okay.
But that drives him. That drives him. That gives him passion. That drives his actions. That's the dance between the two. So if you're both having to be masculine and pay the bill, it doesn't work.
Okay, we've had
Because
some
the
comments
woman-
here, Julio, because it looks like Juliana's come alive. She likes what Kelly's saying.
Yes.
Like this expectation.
Generous and kind.
That's it.
Amen, sister. Yeah, that's great. And Tina thinks that maybe I might have something there about what women, going to contribute to this stuff. But all right, that's good. Well, Julio, what do you think about that, mate? Do you want to pay for everybody, mate, or like what's your thoughts?
I believe in the old-fashioned way where a man takes a woman out, invites her out, and all the rest. So he makes the first move. He's got to be there. Chivalry is, to me, is gone a little bit, and I'm really sad about that.
Yes.
So,
however, do you think that this now environment, and Julio, I know, and he's a lovely, kind man to any women out there, and he's so generous, and so is Mark, but they are like fruits and gems now, Robyn.
I don't know.
They are girls that we are. I'm not sure now. Do you know what I mean? If that's now a woman stepping too much into that masculine energy, like you're talking about, or a man, the expectation is that it should be equal.
Okay, well, Tina's got a few things. She firstly agreed.
Robyn's like, theory.
Good on you, Tina.
Then Tina says the old-fashioned values are great and appreciated.
Absolutely.
Old-fashioned values, eh?
Absolutely. But everyone wins with those old-fashioned values because a man feels good to be able to look after someone. That makes you feel good. When you can care for someone and look after someone, and the woman feels cared for, so she feels good. So it's a win-win situation. It's not a conflict. You're not butting heads. It's a win-win. Yeah. And I think that,
So, Robyn, ideally then, like you're saying, it's a win-win. Who should pay for that first date? And what is a good first meeting? If no one, because I know many people now meet online. Yes. And like you said, so it's not an interview style, or it's not a concrete stop me at any time or a coffee. Yeah, what would be the best date that you could recommend?
Okay, so a lot of people meet for coffee, and I always say stay away from coffee because coffee is boring, and it's like an interview. Right, and it's boring. There is no atmosphere. There's no fun. So if you can make your first meeting or date, if you want to call it a date, an experience, and that means that, and that doesn't have to cost a lot of money. An experience is walking through a park, seeing a market, meeting a really nice wine bar with great music for a glass of wine, or whatever you drink.
So I'm going to scratch out.
So it's an experience that you focus on. So then it's not just
sorry, Julio, are you saying that you just had a date and you just had a coffee, you had a boring old date? Is that what you just said?
Me? Yeah. No, I'm just scratching out a couple of things here. Skydiving. Rock climbing.
Okay, all right, hang on.
Skydiving's a great idea.
Tina reckons coffee and a long walk. That would be great. But I tell you what, we've really sparked something with Juliana. She's really gone to town here.
Where is she?
Oh, look at this, eh? I think this is one. I don't think women of particular age or means have issues with paying for dinner. Okay. However, it's wrong to have the expectations that he would pick up the tab 70% of the time, or is this a recipe for disaster? Women, regardless, want to find a secure man that can take care of them within their means, or I think this way. This is why I remain purposefully single. Single. She doesn't have to stay single.
Yeah.
But she's choosing. It's
yeah,
purposefully. She's saying purposefully single. Right?
Yeah,
It's on purpose. So it comes down to the man. You know, I've got a 26-year-old son, and he's not. He will always pay for his girlfriend. They might go and have a picnic. They might. So it's, you can do things that don't cost a lot of money all the time, but as long as you take care of it, it's chivalry. It's chivalry.
Well, look, Robyn, let's get Juliana's. Let's get Juliana's comment back up there, because I want she's your new client tonight. All right, Juliana's your new client. What would you say to her if she walked into your office tomorrow? Someone like this, what sort of message would you give her?
I would say that I've been talking to men for over 10 years, and most men that I talk to will always pay for the woman because they're gentlemen and they have those values. However, they always say that they appreciate a woman that offers. So it's about how you are as a woman. And this is why I always say appreciation. If you expect him to pay, that's an expectation, and he will feel that. If you appreciate it and say, can I pay half? If he says, oh, thanks, and takes it, you don't see him again. But if he says to you, no, I'll take care of it, you know he's a good man and he appreciates that you've offered, because it's not a test, it's just the right thing to do. I just think it's also it's showing the man appreciation.
That's a really, really, really good point, Robyn.
And all men say this to me. They all say it. They say, I'll always pay for a woman, but if she doesn't offer or she doesn't show appreciation, I won't go there again. So men are very aware of this. And I think, I'm not sure a lot of women understand this. They're very, very aware of it. So they do like to be appreciated. A good man.
What do you think, Robyn, that makes a man or a woman pursue one another, to be initiative and to proactive to start with? So, like some people were asking about the travel aspect, who should travel to what date, who should organise, speaking on the phone packs first or the messaging, whatever form of communication. How do we get, whether it be the man, woman, both, to take that initiation, and what gets them what drives them?
Momentum. So it's which I'll go into. I think the man needs to initiate. I think most men, if a man likes a woman, he's going to initiate. I think that's, we all know that. So the man will initiate, but the woman also has to attract, right? So it's like if you're in a bar, right? Let's say 20 years ago, we're in a bar, we see a man we like, right? We don't just ignore him and stand still. We show him that we like him, right? So when you're online talking to someone or meeting someone in another way, you need to show that you like them. So you entice them. You attract, as a woman, you invite them to pursue you. And that's not chasing, it's inviting them. But the man is the masculine, so he will initiate. If he's interested, he's going to initiate.
Kelly, do you understand what's going on here? How would you do that if you were talking to someone online, show them that you were interested? What would you do?
Yeah, and that was my question to follow up that, Robyn. I think that's a really good point, because as you know, different media is different platforms. Like you and I work a lot, in this media spectrum, online, so we're quite confident doing it. But I'm someone who still likes that pick up the phone and have a chat, because I'm someone who I use my messages to organise something, pretty much.
So you say that.
It's more of a, well, this is what it is, I'll do that. So as a woman, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm keen to hear what you're saying about men clients as well. Do men and women operate quite differently in that space, do you think? And what do we need to be aware of?
Yes. So I think if we can all come to a space where we understand that no one wants to hurt anyone. So if something feels like it's not moving or there's something, it's normally because the other person is unsure of what to do, right? So it's also taking responsibility to communicate what you actually need. And I think it's really important today because the roles are all a bit mixed. So it's really important as a man and a woman to communicate what you need. So if you're a woman and you like to speak on the phone, you say that. So if you're messaging, you say, look, I'd love to hear your voice. He's going to call you if you say that to him. If you say, I'd really like to speak on the phone, he feels pressure. So you bring the feeling, you bring the heart into the conversation. This is the role of the woman. I would love to hear your voice. That's a feeling, that's an emotion. And he will then act. So that's what I mean by enticing him.
No wonder your business is going off the charts. This is a very complex area. Julio, I don't know how you manage it out there, mate. Like, what are you thinking about this conversation? We haven't heard from you, mate, but no wonder we need coaches, hey?
He's a silent thinker.
Oh, no.
He's writing notes. He's a quiet achiever, Mark.
Yes.
Come on, Julio, tell us what you've learned so far, mate. I know you've taken a lot of notes, but what's been the take-home message for you so far on the show tonight?
Well, I'm actually a little bit confused because I've never heard of this pay, like double Dutch thing happening that often. Like maybe just a different awareness about relationship, or where women get the idea that they have to pay. I'm a bit confused about that bit as well. So
okay, so you're stuck in the money, mate. You're stuck in the money, and that's what they're complaining about, mate. You're too focused on money.
That's true.
Look, we just got to keep moving. We've got Juliana is happy to be one of your clients. That's great. So we'll put that up there.
Awesome.
Julio. Juliana, take me. You got that one there, mate?
Yep.
From Juliana. Yep, take me. So you've got another client tonight, which is good. Then we've got Paul. Paul's come on. I think men find like appreciation.
Yes.
Of course we do.
Absolutely. That's what we're talking about.
Down to. Men
well done, Paul.
Like appreciation. Paul, well done, mate.
Absolutely.
Julio, do you like appreciation?
I do like appreciation, yes.
Good on you, mate. We appreciate Julio, don't we?
I appreciate you, Julio.
Julio, you're amazing, mate. You're amazing.
Very, very appreciated.
Juliana he's got a lot to say tonight. This is a big area and what she's saying here. I agree, absolutely. Appreciation goes both ways. Oh.
Yes, it does.
I once went on a date. I offered to pay for dinner, and he agreed. I paid.
Yeah.
He went for drinks afterwards. I paid. Gee, I'm going to go with Juliana. I paid. He dropped me off at home. Wanted to see me again, and he knew even before the movie. Oh, okay. Waka anda. What's that mean?
What's that?
What's that, Kelly?
Not sure. Anyway, and I love that comment where. Tina says you and Mark are the same. And Sarah's comment here, Robyn and gang, why are people less commitment oriented nowadays? Very, very, very good question, Sarah. Why Robyn?
What was the question? Why are we less?
Why are people less commitment oriented nowadays? Where they want to have, what I'm guessing, Sarah is saying, people are very casual, want to keep everything very open and a non-relationship focused per se.
Okay, so that's a statement. There are two ways of answering this. So if you look at society in general, it's very throwaway. So we move on to the next thing very quickly. Our attention span is shorter, so we get bored very quickly, so we move on. But that's a type of person. I don't like to generalize that way. I think though that commitment is something you need to do for yourself. So it's a choice that you make, and you choose to commit to yourself. And that's by staying in your boundaries and it's sitting in your heart space, or as a man, it's being strong with who you are and committing to yourself. So if there is a behavior or if there's a treatment that doesn't show commitment on the other side, then we move to something else. I think that a lot of people who want the commitment from the other person need that from the other person instead of committing to themselves first. When you commit to yourself first, other people are going to commit to you. When you're trying to get it from other people, they're going to run away from you. So it's just a different way of looking at commitment. So it's committing to yourself first and putting yourself first, which is your own values and what you want, what the type of connection you want. And if it's not happening, you move your attention. You don't stay in it, because a lot of people stay in it right at the start. They stay in it, or they'll commit, or I'm not sure if they're committed. If it's not there, it's not there. You move forward. So then you're not in front of people that don't commit all the time. Whereas if you're in front of people that don't commit all the time, you think no one commits. But if you're someone that says it doesn't feel like commitment, I'm going over here, I'm going to look somewhere else, or I'm happy by myself because I'm committed to myself.
Hang on, Robyn, you started off the show saying this is all easy going, just take it easy, no expectations,
That's right.
Just go with the flow. And now it's all sounding much more complex. You know, they'll walk out if they're not committed, all this sort of stuff. So, I mean,
That's
is
right.
it easy going or is it
Yes,
intense?
it's easy going, because when you're easy going, people commit to you. When you're easy going, if you're so focused on commitment, it's a condition, and then people don't commit to you. Whereas if you're easy going and you're committed to yourself, and you show people that you're committed to yourself and what you want in your life, people are then more inclined to commit to you if you're easygoing. So if I said to you, Mark, you know, why don't we catch up tomorrow? I'm somewhere near your place tomorrow night. Would you like to catch up for a drink? If not, that's okay, no problem. But if you'd like to, just let me know. I'd really love it. So what I'm doing is I'm being easy. I'm not putting pressure on you, but I'm committed to myself. So I'm still okay if you're not, if you don't want to come. I'm still okay. I'm still committed to myself, and I'm still my own priority. I'm okay if you don't want to do that, because I know who I am, and I'm committed to myself.
Have we got that, mate? Did you understand that, Julio?
Yeah, apparently I've got to get commitment. I've got to get involved in commitment, apparently.
You got that, okay. Oh, hang on. We just got to get a few of these on the screen. We got Von.
Okay. So I'll start off with Wakanda's Black Panther movie. So there you go.
Okay. All right. And Juliana, it's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
Paul, why do men and women lose interest after they get into a relationship? How can we make a relationship interesting?
Absolutely, by appreciating each other. So I think the first sign of a relationship deteriorating when one person stops appreciating the relationship and the other person. And that can be in anything. You start taking that person for granted that they're there, and you don't communicate appreciation. When you communicate appreciation, and also I think curiosity for each other, and that comes from questions.
Okay, I think this could be a good one for our top 5, Julio. Let's get that question up there again, and let's get 5 points on how we can make a relationship interesting, how we can keep a relationship going. And I think you've given us 2 points there. One is to show appreciation. Yes. And what's the second one? Keep curiosity. Be curious
about who they are.
All right. Well,
I mean, you can be married.
I think you've missed a point here. There's many who aren't in a relationship. So I think before getting into a relationship, like Robyn, you were starting to touch on, how do people get to even that relationship? Because there's lots of dating questions, what I'm seeing, and many are feeling like they're not even getting to that stage of being in a relationship.
Yeah, good point, Kelly. I think appreciation, curiosity probably works for both points. Do they there, Robyn?
I think so. Look, I think I think getting into that relationship, you have to be able to communicate what you want. So and men and women both do this, right? So they do it differently though. So for a woman, if you're wanting a good connection, if you're wanting a good partnership, you want to find your partner in life, you talk about the emotion when you're in that. So if you're with a man and you're on a date, or maybe you've been seeing each other for a few months, right, and it hasn't sort of progressed, right, it's talking about, it's saying, I'd really love to, I can't wait to have that person beside me who's always got my back. I can't wait to have that, be a team with the man. And it's talking about what you want, not from that other person. So it's showing the person what you want. And if they're going to do it, they're going to step up and do it. If they're not interested, they're not going to be involved.
Let's make that point number 3, Julio. What's the point number 3 again? It's showing people what you want.
It's showing, describing, imagining, talking about, communicating about what you want.
What you want. Okay, that's great. We've got Tina and then Von. I've got a couple of comments here.
Tina, Von.
Tina says it's complex, but it can be fun.
Absolutely.
It's complex. And let's just say it's complex and fun. Can we say that?
Yes.
Robyn?
Let's say complex is fun.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds like this conversation. This
Fun,
conversation
complex.
is fun, but it's complex. What about Von? Von, what's Von's got to say here? Good point on commitment to yourself. It will be difficult to find commitment from others.
Absolutely.
If you can't even commit to yourself.
Right.
And he's got some good points tonight, I'll tell you.
That's right.
Got some very good points out there. And we're up to point number 4 about these relationships, Kelly. Is it? What are we missing, Kelly, in the top 5? What would you think?
Well, I was just going to say, Robyn, your point, and with Paul's comment as well, what I was trying to link in was when he's saying, why do men and women lose interest after they get into a relationship, and how to make that relationship interesting, like you touched on, Robyn.
Yes.
But my question is, once they're in it, and to gain that interest and keep that interest as well. Because I know for many men and women, many now, like as you're probably aware of, they used to just being in that space where they're confident and they know who they are, that they don't know how to receive it, or they don't know how to read it either. You get what I'm saying? Yes, but no? Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is
complex.
yeah. Well, no, I'll try and keep it simple. How do you gauge the interest on the dates, for one, to get into that relationship? How do you ignite that fire, so to speak?
Talk about
Robyn,
it.
as you're answering that, Kelly, this little date scenario you gave me where the guy wanted you to pay, how did you know that he wasn't interested? He might have given you a whole lot of other reasons he was interested. Do you think he was interested in you? Say if you'd paid, would you be sort of going, to the next level?
I did pay. I paid for the whole thing.
Okay. All right. So,
she's not seeing him again.
No.
Are you, Kelly?
Okay.
No.
Right.
That was months ago. But what I'm saying is that's an example when we're talking about financial earlier, a pure example where there was no chemistry, there was no romance, like Robyn was touching on earlier, and coming back to some of the comments about values that Juliana was talking about, I guess in my mind, I would have been thinking that's quite a big ask to get someone to pay for the whole thing. Even as a friend, you just do 50-50. Would that be right?
No. No. I guess it's an individual thing, and everyone is different. But it's also especially in the beginning, I think if a man is really interested in you, he's going to pay for you. It's also a gauge for a woman to look at. If he's not being that generous, it's you don't see him again because he's not invested. He's not invested in the connection enough for you. That's good enough for you. That's
like you
how
said,
I look at it.
investment in
Because you're committed to
money,
yourself,
energy,
remember?
everything. Yeah.
That's right.
So how do guys know that the female's really into them?
She appreciates him. It's how she appreciates him. So if a woman is curious about him, so it's the questions she asks about it. It's the interest she has in him, the appreciation she has in him, affection, and as I said before, it's also offering. So when a woman does offer, the man does appreciate that. A good man will say, "I've got it," but he does like it. He does appreciate it because it's also, I think, and I thought of this morning. If you want to be, let's say, if you want to be married, let's say, or a partner, right? Let's call it a wife or a partner or whatever that is for you. Let's call it a wife. If you want to be a wife, it's important to start acting like one before you become one. Because if a man is looking for a wife, if a man is looking for a partner to live his life with, he's going to look at everything you do. And he's going to say, is that what I would want my wife to do? So if you're offering to help, he's going to say, she'll be a great partner. She'll work with me. She'll be a team with me. And I think men look for this. I don't know if they say that, but I do believe that a lot of men look for that. They look for a team player.
Okay, well, let's make that point number 4, Julio, in any relationships, trying to find a relationship or being in a relationship, being a team, contributing, acting out how you want to be is a good one. Now, we're coming to the end of the show, guys. It's 98.9 Northwest FM. It's Community Heart. We really do appreciate all the great comments. There's just been so many comments tonight. Tina's just put another one up, but you've got a few more minutes to ask Robyn any question you like. She'll take any question tonight.
That's exactly right, Tina. That's exactly right.
There you go.
When you become a team.
Yeah, when you become a team, you can pay well, tell Tina. You can take me out for lunch soon.
Or cook him something, cooking dinner.
Cook me something, Tina. She's my sister, actually. So great to have you on the show, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Now, don't forget, ask Robyn any question you like in the last few minutes. We've got 4 points. Julio, can we just go through the 4 points? We're going to add point number 5 on. What points have we got so far, Julio?
So at the moment, men have to take the initiative. Women need to appreciate and show affection.
Like that little add-on there. Julio.
Good idea, Julio.
Yeah.
Show appreciation again.
Show appreciation. All on. Doing well, Julio.
Communicate what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And work as a team.
Work as a team. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Robyn, what's your final bit of advice for everybody? Number 5.
Number 5, give yourself a break. Be kind to yourself. Take the pressure off yourself. Because then when you do that, you're going to do it with the other person. And the other person will feel that.
Okay, because we started the show relaxing and we're going to end the show relaxing. We had a whole lot of complex stuff in the middle. So it's been an interesting sandwich. I'm really wondering how Juliana's going. I know she's had her first session tonight, but I'm just wondering how Juliana's feeling. So if you're listening still, Juliana, I'd love to hear how you're going. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I think my final question to Robyn would be, what would be the most common thing or questions that come up from both men and women to you that you could quickly answer? Where you can go, this is what I see is coming up frequently, and here's often the solutions that I'm able to provide.
The biggest frustration that people find with each other is misunderstanding each other through text.
Right.
It's misunderstanding what the other person means. So it's misunderstanding each other, not being able to read each other, and everyone gets frustrated with that. Everyone tries to do that. So I think the best way of overcoming that is to be able to communicate who you are and if you're misunderstanding something, say it. Instead of sitting back and coming to conclusions that person wants to hurt you, that person's done something wrong, come from a different space of your heart and say, I'm feeling that, I don't know, I'm feeling that, whatever it is, I'm feeling that you're losing interest. Is that right? Be vulnerable, say it, but not in a fun, open way. And I think this comes to another point I wanted to make right at the end, is you've got to set your intentions. It's really important. Anything we do in life, whether it's your career, family, relationships, friendships, it's really important to set your intentions. So to set your intentions before a date or before you meet someone or before you speak to someone, if you can say to yourself, I want the best outcome for both of us. I want to have a really good experience. I want to feel good and I want them to feel good. Whatever happens, happens. So we let go of the expectations, but our intention and our value and our boundaries to feel good. I want him to feel good. I want her to feel good. I want the best outcome for both of us. Whatever that is. We don't know what that is. Doesn't matter.
Fantastic
as long
comments.
as it's the best outcome.
We've got a few questions here. One's from Tina.
Yep.
Tina's comment is, how do you keep your expectations in check?
This is a good question. It's a very good question. Yeah, I think can she be more specific on expectations?
All right, come back to us, Tina. We've got another question from Juliana. We wanted to see how he was. I like a consultation session for sure with Robyn. Please pass on my thanks.
Good, Juliana.
All right, so Juliana,
I like the red dress.
Yeah, she's yep. And Paul, guess your day of being single unnumbered. Is that
absolutely?
Well, Robyn's
so each
married.
moment. No, but each moment for everyone, you're getting closer to that right person.
That's true. Very true. Tina's come back with her expectations. Yes, it's a loaded question. Okay.
I love it.
I think Tina, I think it's with expectations and keeping it in check. It's if you can, would you want someone else to think that of you? So if we're thinking about an expectation of what you want for yourself, would you want someone to think that of you?
Okay,
so it's putting yourself on the other foot.
Julio, yeah.
There's
too many parts of the question. She's still not clarifying much, but
no, she's not.
Get expectations under control. And I think it's that thing you talked about at the start, Robyn, letting go a bit, because we all find it hard to let go. We're all a bit anxious.
But if you can say to yourself, everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Hang on, it often isn't though. That's the problem. It
is. It is always the way it's supposed to be. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Well, what do you think about that, Kelly? Is that true? Is that how you found it out there in the real world?
I think I perhaps need to learn.
That is a choice. It's a choice. It's not a fact. It's a choice. If you choose to believe that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, if you look at your life and the events or things that have happened or experiences you've had, you'll realize that everything led to the right thing. It's like rejection is redirection. It's redirecting you on the right path. So it's about having faith and trust that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I think that's a great note to finish the show on, because you've been amazing tonight, Robyn, and I think we could go on forever. But I think where you ended up is actually we've got to take control of ourselves. Yes. And I think it's all about us. I think that's what I've got out of tonight. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It always starts with ourselves.
Julio's taken 2 pages of notes. I don't know whether he's actually got to that point or not. Julio, what did you get at the end, mate? What's your final comment?
My final comment is I think I'm more curious about what steps I need to take forward. I'm a little bit distressed about the way the situations are running with relationships by the side of things, where women are thinking in a very different way. Both each other are thinking totally different directions. So I'm finding it a bit hard to understand how relationships are going to work out, to be quite honest.
So Julio, everyone wants to be accepted and loved, men and women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Kelly, what's your final comments there?
I would say for me, it's a journey and it's a learning. And I think for myself, acknowledging to have that curious lens and being very clear on, like Rob was touching on, that communication aspect, and being more in that feminine energy. And I would say many women would be saying the same thing as me tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Well,
to
I think
learn
Tina's,
how to do that.
Tina's had a couple of comments here just to finish off, to get through all the comments. Julio, just turning a negative into a positive.
That's the way, Tina.
Yep,
and that's
beautiful.
a choice. That's a choice.
Yep, choice. Okay, and
then,
we had heard that one before, so too many parts. So we got that one. All right. Well, Robyn,
Awesome.
Oh, hang on, we've got one more there, and another great show. Cheers, Robyn. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for your comment there, Robyn. Any final comments before we sort of pack up?
Final comment. Set your intentions. Be kind to yourself, and appreciate others.
Well,
nice.
Ammo had to come in. He's the expert on relationships, starting with friendship. Let it grow.
That's right,
Communication is key. At the end of the day, when the honeymoon's over, you've all got
it has to be
talk.
A friendship.
It's got to be a talk.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
An expert in relationships there. I'll tell you what, the comments are quickly coming in.
Paul, no.
Paul again. Talking with some more.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Well, look, thanks very much for joining us, everyone, on Community Heart Radio. It's been fantastic. Good, solid advice and comments, Robyn, Kath there. And Robyn, just so great to have you. We'll have to have you again. Kath's going to the Big Brothers, Big Sisters dinner on the 10th of March. Julio's going to put the link in the chat. If you want to see Robyn in action or at the dinner, the Big Brothers, Big Sisters dinner, she'll be sitting at Julio's table. Kelly will be there. I'll be there. Robyn will be there. We'll all be there on the 10th of March, the Big Brothers, Big Sisters annual dinner. Look at the website for tickets. We'd love to have you join us. Community Heart Radio is supporting the dinner, and we'd love you to join us there. Thanks very much, Robyn. Great night.
Thank
Kelly,
you.
fantastic.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Julio, you've learned a lot tonight, mate, and well done.
Let's end
it there, guys. Thanks very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.